All right. As soon as you open up the Revit, it will prompt you to either open up an existing project, you may have an existing project, or you want to open up brand new, or you want to start off with an architectural template. You may want to start with new. Let's go ahead and start with that and see what that does. So when I go new, and I want to make sure that I go down to architectural template, and it's the same thing as here, and I want to actually choose project, not project template. So because I want to actually open up a new project and work on this new project, so I say okay, and the new project gets started. Typically when it opens up properties and project browsers. Let's say if it didn't, you need to go to View. You go all the way to the right-hand side, go to User Interface, and you get Project Browser. Project Browser actually is your view browser. It allows you to go to Level 1, first floor plan a lot of times, Level 2, often second floor. You may have different names. Site. So it often starts with 3 levels, and it's named this way. You can change the names, you can add levels. It also opens up corresponding floor plans, ceiling plans. At the very beginning, you may want to close that up. It also prompts you with east, west, north, and south elevations. Later on, we'll be using sheets and families and groups in this class. Alrighty, so now let's go ahead and open up the properties. When you click check properties, if I go to floor plan, for example, it will give me all the properties, almost everything that I need to work with that floor plan, anything that's associated with that floor plan, such as scale and the depth of the view and so on. Later on, we'll learn much more about it. One of the elements that we're going to look at a lot and use a lot is visibility graphics, and that is what gets seen on that floor plan and in what format will be in graphic displays. And whether we want to see as the underlay, first floor, second floor, and so on. Underlay. If you remember when we drafted manually, we put a drawing underneath the cross section, let's say floor plan under the cross section, so we can actually draw our first floor. And we put our first floor in order to see the second floor. We put the second floor in order to do roof plan or framing. It's very similar to that. All right, so as soon as I'm on first floor, I get to see, and I'm just going to go a little bit this way, I get to see these 4 icons. These allow me to see the elevations. North is up, that's north elevation. See, as soon as I go there, you can read north elevation. This is to the right-hand side, that's east. To the left-hand side, notice, west. Down at the bottom is south. So as soon as you hold your cursor on that tip of the triangle, it will prompt you, and when you click on it, it will actually, when you click on it, it will give you a blue line. You can move that blue line, which designates from where you will see the elevation. And when you click on it, it will take you literally to that elevation, and it will give you where level 1 is and where level 2 is. And typically, level 2 is 10 feet. You could certainly change it. If I come over here and I change that to 12 feet, that's my choice. And so my level 2 goes up. You could also move these symbols. That's a symbol of a level that's parallel to the ground line, floor line. And be careful when you move them. You don't move them without changing it to 2D, because all of this is interrelated. When you're moving this symbol in one elevation, you move it in the other elevations as well as the sections. Any section cut in any elevation starts moving it. So in order to just move it in that view, change it to 2D, then you can move it forward and backward and do a whole lot more to it. All right. So that's my south elevation because I clicked on it. I'm going to go back to level 1, which is the floor plan. All right, and I'm going to pull my, there we go. All right, so these are my big gun toolbars. All right, now I'm going to come back here and get myself a little bit familiar with it. When I click on architecture, it allows me to draw a wall, and it's got a lot attached to it. There are a few steps before I would like to draw a wall. It allows me to draw a floor plan. These are your two major ways to get started. We're going to get started with a floor. So when I click on the down arrow, it gives me architectural, structural, by face, or slab. I'm going to start with architectural. As soon as I do that, I recognize that there is a tab here that gets green, and it gives me a whole bunch of tools to work with in order to draw my floor. I also come on over here, and under the properties, it will tell me, as of now, it allows me to draw a generic floor 12 inches. If I don't like that, I can click on the down arrow to find out what other typologies already prefabricated, designed for me in Revit, or I can come back and edit the type. For example, I don't like 12 inches. I want to have generic 8 inches. I first have to duplicate. Let's say I would like to have generic 10 inch. I duplicate. I name it. Okay, so first I duplicated. I named it. Then I go ahead and change the structure. And I change it from 1 foot to 10 inches. You have to type in inch, or else it assumes foot. So I say OK, and I say OK, and it allows me to draw that floor. So then I come back here and I say I can draw a floor so long as I have an enclosed boundary. I can draw my floor like this. Alrighty. Or I can draw my floor like this. I can pick, like AutoCAD, one line at a time and then hit delete and erase it. I can do a motherly hug and erase everything. Or I can do a tornado pick and I erase. The difference between a motherly hug and a tornado pick is, in a motherly hug, the item has to be fully in that piece. Notice it's not picking these.